Lakshmi of IG College of Engineering. Today we are going to discuss about that wireless communication topic, and we are going to discuss about that 2017 regulation Anna University EC8652 wireless communication. In that one we are going to discuss about what all discussed in that subject, and we are going to discuss one by one in unit wise. Let me start with that syllabus. In unit 1 we are going to discuss about that wireless channels. In that we are going to discuss about the path loss models, and the types of fading and the parameters for fading, and the types of fading. In the types of fading itself we are going to discuss about multi-path time delay spread, and frequency selective fading, and fading due to Doppler spread also. In unit 2 we are going to discuss about cellular architecture, multiple access techniques. In this one we are going to discuss about that multiple access techniques like FDMA, TDMA and CDMA, and we are going to do that capacity calculations, and we are going to discuss in depth about that cellular concept, the frequency reuse, and how we are going to allocate the channel, and how we are going to solve the handoff and interference problem, and what is the system capacity, trunking and grade of services, coverage and capacity improvement in that second unit. In the third unit we are going to discuss about digital signaling for fading channels. Here we are going to discuss about that wireless communication link and principles of offset QPSK, minimum shift keying, Gaussian minimum shift keying, error performance in fading channels, and OFDMA principle, cyclic prefix, windowing and PAPR. In the fourth unit we are going to discuss about multipath mitigation techniques. In this we are going to discuss about that equalization, adaptive equalization, linear and non-linear equalization, zero forcing and LMS algorithms, diversity macro and micro diversity combining techniques, error probability in fading channels with diversity reception, and then finally rack receiver. Then in unit 5 we are going to discuss about that multiple antenna techniques, that is MIMO system, spatial multiplexing system models, pre-coding, beamforming, transmitter diversity, receiver diversity, channel state information, capacity in fading and non-fading channels. Let me start with that introduction to this wireless communication. What is wireless communication? It is one of the medium of communication which is used to transfer information without any electrical conductor, and it is used for both long distance as well as short distance communication. The radio frequency, it uses radio frequency, infrared light, laser light, etc. The history of wireless communication started with that wireless telephone conversation occurred in 1880 using the photophone. What's the need for this wireless communication? In order to communicating with each other and sharing information for business deals and for remote access to medical records by a paramedic, it may save many lives. At the time of disaster it will be very useful, since we are having that direct communication between the peoples are not possible during that disaster time. That time this wireless communication will be very useful. Next, how we are going to implement this wireless communication? This wireless communication may be implemented by radio communication systems, and then TV or radio broadcasting, and then using mobile radio system. Devices used for this wireless communication, it may remote controls, cellular phones, modems, walkie-talkie and satellite phones are some of the devices used for this wireless communication. What are the typical frequencies for these type of wireless communication? When you are going for this one, FM radio start with 88 MHz, TV broadcast is 200 MHz, GSM phone uses 900 MHz, GPS uses 1.2 GHz, PCS phones uses 1.8 GHz, and Bluetooth uses 2.4 GHz, Wi-Fi uses 2.4 GHz. What are the types of wireless communications? Radio transmission. In that radio transmission, it is easily generated. This is a omnidirectional transmission. it travels for long distance and it easily penetrates the building. What are the problems we are facing while go for that radio transmission? It is fully frequency dependent and it is relatively low bandwidth for data communication and it is tightly licensed by the government. Next we are going for that microwave transmission. This is widely used for long distance communication and it is relatively inexpensive. But what's the disadvantage of this one? Why we are not going for this microwave transmission mostly? Because it don't pass through the buildings. It was affected by weather and frequency conditions. Next we are going to discuss about that infrared and millimeter waves. It is widely used for short range of communication but it is unable to pass through solid objects, but it is used for indoor wireless LANs, it is not fit for outdoors. Next, light wave transmission. It is an unguided optical signal such as laser. It is unidirectional, easy to install. It does not require any license. But what's the problem of these two? These two are unable to penetrate rain or thick fog. Laser beam can be easily diverted by air. So we cannot go for this infrared and millimeter waves. Next, advantages and disadvantages of wireless communication. Advantages of wireless communication, as we know that one, you can sit anywhere and you can do that necessary office work. So working professional can work and access internet anywhere and anytime. Because of this only we are now in this pandemic situation also we are doing that work from home, we are taking classes to you. This is all possible due to the advantages of this wireless communication only. It does not need any cables. It is we are communicating without carrying cables or wires wherever we are going. This is also help to complete the work anywhere at any time and improves the productivity. A wireless communication network is a solution in areas where cables are impossible to install. Example, hazardous area, long distance. Next, wireless networks are cheaper to install and maintain. Because when you are going for wired communication, we have to install the wire, it takes more cost. Compared to that one, it is not needed here. What are all the disadvantages? It has security vulnerabilities. It is transmitted over air, means anyone can crack the codes, anyone can receive your message. So it has security vulnerabilities. High cost for setting the infrastructure. Unlike wired communication, wireless communication is influenced by physical obstructions, climatic conditions, interference from other wireless devices. Next, wireless communication, cellular phone. It's an example for that wireless communication. It is best known example of broadcasting. Every one of us are using this one. It uses radio waves. It is suitable for both short distance as well as long distance. Wireless communication with Wi-Fi. It is popular over the past few years. A wireless local area network. It is portable for computing devices to connect easily to the internet. Wireless communication via Bluetooth. It is popular over the past few years. It uses radio waves. It is used for transfer data for short range with low power consumption. Advantages of wireless communication. It is used for both short and long distance. It can be used in any condition like disaster, and it is easy. It's easy mobility of the devices and low maintenance and no additional cost of rewiring. The future of wireless communication may needs some improvement. It has to be more secure. It has to be eco-friendly and non-risky ways to be found out. The speed has to be increased. So with that we have completed all the related topic to the introduction of wireless communication. We have discussed about what is wireless communication, and we have discussed about who invented this one, what is the history of this wireless communication, what are all the types of wireless communications are there, how we are going to implement that wireless communication, and what are all the devices used for this wireless communication. That these are all the things we have discussed in this unit. We will discuss that next topic, that is path loss models, in the next week.